Every single day you wake up, you've got a choice to make. A choice between who you used to be and who you're becoming. Life isn't waiting for you to be ready. It's already happening. The question is, what are you telling yourself every day? Because your words become your reality. Your thoughts are the blueprint of your life. And if you want to build something extraordinary, you've got to start talking to yourself like someone who's meant to do extraordinary things. The first thing you tell yourself every morning is this: I am grateful. Because gratitude is power. Gratitude turns pain into wisdom and trials into lessons. You can't rise above your situation if you're always complaining about it. There's always something to be thankful for. The breath in your lungs, the roof over your head, the chance to try again. Gratitude keeps you grounded while you grow. Second, remind yourself, I am built for this. Life's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to test you, mold you, shape you. Every mountain, every setback, every heartbreak, it's building something inside you that comfort never could. When it gets hard, don't ask why me, ask what's this teaching me, because strength is born in the struggle. And resilience doesn't come from the easy days. Third, every day tell yourself, I have a purpose. You're not here by accident. You weren't created just to pay bills and exist. There's a reason your heart beats, a reason you've got dreams that keep you up at night. Purpose doesn't whisper, it roars. Calls you to stand up when you're tired, to keep going when the world says stop. You've got to remind yourself daily that your purpose is greater than your pain. Fourth, say, I will stay disciplined. Motivation fades, but discipline stays. You won't always feel inspired, but you can always stay committed. The secret to success isn't in doing a lot once, it's in doing a little every single day. Discipline builds character, and character builds destiny. When nobody's watching, that's when your future is being written. Fifth, tell yourself, I forgive myself. Too many people carry yesterday's weight into today. You can't move forward holding on to guilt and regret. You did what you knew how to do back then. Now you know better, so do better. Forgive yourself, not because you're weak, but because you deserve peace. You can't rewrite the past, but you can redeem the present. Six, say, I am not afraid. Fear will whisper that you're not enough, that you'll fail, that you're not ready. But courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward in spite of it. Fear is a liar, and every time you choose faith over fear, you silence that lie. You've already made it through things you thought would break you. You're still standing. That's proof that you're stronger than you think. Seventh, remind yourself, I will stay humble. Pride destroys what patience builds. Stay grounded no matter how high you climb. Remember where you came from, who helped you, and who believed in you when no one else did. Humility keeps you teachable, and being teachable keeps you growing. Eighth, tell yourself, I will not quit. Life will hit you hard, and sometimes it'll feel like it's not fair, but quitting guarantees failure. If you just keep showing up, one day everything you've prayed for will meet you halfway. The dream doesn't die because it's impossible. It dies because people give up too soon. Tell yourself every day, I'm not done yet. And ninth, every morning before you take that first step out the door, whisper to yourself, I am destined for greatness. Not fame, not applause, not validation, but greatness. The kind that lives in your integrity, your kindness, your persistence. Greatness is doing the right thing when nobody notices. It's chasing your purpose when it would be easier to stay safe. So tell yourself these 9 things every day until they become your truth. Speak life into your own spirit, because the world's already got enough doubt, enough fear, enough noise. You don't need to hear another person telling you who you're not. You need to hear someone telling yourself who you are. You are chosen. You are capable. You are strong. You are still becoming everything you were created to be. Every day is a chance to speak power into your future. So tomorrow, when you wake up, don't just look in the mirror. Speak to the reflection. Remind that person of the truth. You're still here for a reason. You're not finished yet. And as long as there's breath in your lungs, you've got another chance to rise, to believe, to build, and to become everything you were destined to be. Every morning when you open your eyes, there's a battle waiting for you. The battle between fear and faith. Fear whispers, what if it doesn't work? Faith answers, even if it doesn't, I'll still rise. Fear tells you to stay where it's safe. Faith tells you to step forward even when you can't see what's ahead. Every single dream that's ever changed the world started with someone who chose faith over fear. Because fear will always be louder, but faith will always be stronger if you feed it. You see, fear has a funny way of disguising itself. It comes dressed as logic, as caution, as reason. It tells you to wait for the right time, the right people, the right opportunity. But faith doesn't wait for perfect timing. It moves in uncertainty. Faith says, even if the road is dark, I know who walks beside me. The truth is, you can't serve two masters. You either feed your faith or you feed your fear, and the one you feed becomes your future. Faith isn't blind optimism, it's belief backed by action. It's waking up every day and saying, I may not have all the answers, but I trust the process. It's doing what you can with what you have and trusting that what you need will show up when it's meant to. Faith is that quiet voice inside you saying, keep going. When the noise outside says, give up, it's what makes you get back up after every failure, wipe your tears, and still say, I'm not done yet. Fear limits, but faith liberates. Fear paralyzes, but faith propels. Fear looks at the storm. Faith looks at the lesson behind it. Every time you faced a moment where you didn't know how you'd make it, and yet somehow you did, that was faith at work. That was proof that something bigger than your doubt was guiding you through. And when you realize that, you stop asking, what if I fall? And start believing, what if I fly? Faith doesn't need to see the entire staircase. It just needs you to take the first step. You've got to believe that every delay, every rejection, every detour is still part of the direction. Sometimes God doesn't show you the path because if He did, you'd never build the strength to walk it. Faith is built in the waiting, in the silence, in the moments when it feels like nothing's happening but everything's shifting. So every morning tell yourself today, I choose faith. When fear says you're not ready, faith says you're already chosen. When fear says the odds are against you, faith says the odds don't matter when you're walking in purpose. When fear says you can't, faith says watch me. Because the moment you choose faith over fear, you stop surviving and start living. And that's where real power begins. Not when everything is certain, but when you move forward even when it's not. There comes a time when you've got to decide what you really want out of life, comfort or purpose, because you can't chase both. Comfort keeps you safe, but purpose makes you alive. Comfort tells you to stay where it's familiar, but purpose pushes you into the unknown. The problem is, most people want the reward without the risk, the growth without the grind, the victory without the fight. But purpose doesn't bloom in easy soil. It grows through pressure, through sacrifice, through moments that test everything you think you are. Every single person who's ever done something meaningful had to walk away from comfort at some point. They had to let go of the easy road to walk the right one. Purpose isn't about what feels good. It's about what does good. It's about waking up every day knowing you're walking towards something that matters, even if it costs you sleep, time, relationships, or peace of mind. Because when you're driven by purpose, you understand that pain is just part of the process. Comfort tells you, rest, you've done enough. Purpose says you've got more in you. Comfort wants applause. Purpose wants impact. Comfort is about being liked. Purpose is about being remembered. The world doesn't reward comfort seekers. It remembers purpose chasers. Those who kept showing up even when it didn't make sense. Those who refused to settle for average when greatness was calling. You see, purpose will make you uncomfortable because it's meant to. Growth only happens when you stretch, and stretching hurts. The people who never stretch never grow. The dream you're chasing, the life you want, it's on the other side of discomfort. That's where transformation lives. You'll never meet your higher self while hiding in your comfort zone. And here's the truth. The pursuit of purpose will cost you your comfort, but the reward will give you peace. The kind of peace that doesn't depend on your situation, but comes from knowing you're doing what you were created to do. The moment you stop living for comfort, you stop existing and start living with intention. You start walking differently, talking differently, believing differently. Purpose will demand your time, your energy, your patience, but it will also give you fulfillment that comfort never could. Comfort numbs you, purpose wakes you up. Comfort fades, but purpose leaves a legacy. So every day remind yourself why you started, what you're chasing, and who you're becoming. When you feel like giving up, remember that the pain of discipline will always cost less than the pain of regret. You weren't designed to play it safe. You were designed to make a difference. So when you stand at that crossroad between comfort and purpose, choose the path that scares you, because that's usually the one that grows you. Comfort might make you feel good today, but purpose will make you proud tomorrow. Every day you wake up, you've got two choices: to complain about what's missing or to be grateful for what's already there. And the truth is, both can't live in the same heart. Complaints drain you, gratitude fuels you. You can't see possibilities when your eyes are focused on problems. The people who rise, the ones who stay strong through storms, aren't the ones who have perfect lives. They're the ones who learn to find light even in the dark. Gratitude doesn't ignore pain, it transforms it. It says, yes, this is hard, but I'm still here. I'm still breathing. I still have a chance. You see, the mind is powerful. When you focus on what's wrong, life gives you more reasons to feel defeated. But when you focus on what's right, life gives you more reasons to be blessed. Gratitude changes how you see everything. The same day that feels ordinary to one person can feel miraculous to another. The difference is their perspective. A grateful heart sees miracles in moments others overlook. Complaints come easy because they don't require growth. Anyone can find something wrong, but gratitude takes strength. It takes maturity. It's choosing to see lessons instead of losses, growth instead of grief. It's saying, I might not be where I want to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be. Gratitude isn't about pretending everything's perfect. It's about recognizing that even in imperfection, there's progress. And the more you practice gratitude, the more peace you'll carry. Because when you start counting your blessings, your problems start losing their power. Gratitude shifts the atmosphere of your entire life. It keeps your heart soft when life gets hard. It keeps you humble when things go right. and hopeful when they don't. It reminds you that every breath, every sunrise, every chance to try again, that's grace. Sometimes we wait for something big to happen before we decide to be thankful. But real gratitude shows up in the small things: a kind word, a warm meal, a friend who checks in, a lesson learned the hard way. Gratitude doesn't need perfection to be powerful. It just needs attention. And when you pay attention, you start realizing how much you've already been given. Complaining locks you in the past. Gratitude opens the door to the future. The energy you put out is the energy that returns. You can't attract blessings while speaking curses over your life. The next time you want to complain, stop and think, someone, somewhere is praying for the very thing you're taking for granted. So every morning before the noise of the world takes over, remind yourself, I'm thankful. Thankful for the struggle because it made you stronger. Thankful for the detours because they led you somewhere better. Thankful for the lessons because they built your wisdom. Gratitude doesn't just change your mood, it changes your destiny. When you learn to live with a thankful heart, even the smallest moments start to feel like miracles. Discipline is the difference between a wish and a win. Everybody wants success, but not everyone is willing to do what it takes when no one's watching. Excuses are easy, they're soft, comfortable, and convincing. They sound like reason, but they're really just delay. Discipline, on the other hand, is uncomfortable, demanding, and often lonely, but that's where greatness is born. You don't rise to the level of your dreams, you fall to the level of your discipline. The people who make it in life aren't the most talented. They're the ones who kept showing up when everyone else quit. Excuses have destroyed more dreams than failure ever has. Because excuses feel safe, they protect your ego, they give you a story to tell when you didn't give your best. But discipline doesn't care about stories. Discipline shows up whether it's raining or shining, whether you feel like it or not. It doesn't ask how you feel, it reminds you of what you said you do. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally, it comes from what you do consistently. You can't talk your way into greatness. You've got to work your way there day after day when no one's cheering, when no one's clapping. That's what separates the doers from the dreamers. Excuses will always sound better in the moment, but discipline will always feel better in the end. Because when you've done the work, when you've given your best, you earn something no excuse can give you: pride. The kind of pride that comes from knowing you didn't quit when it was hard. Discipline isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. You're going to slip, you're going to fall, you're going to have days where you lose focus, but discipline gets you back up. It doesn't wait for motivation, it builds momentum. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you moving. Motivation is a spark, discipline is the engine. You can't depend on feelings to build your future because feelings change. But discipline stays when feelings fade. And the truth is, your future self is counting on you. Every excuse you make today becomes a regret tomorrow. Every time you choose comfort over commitment, you rob your future of its potential. But every time you choose discipline, every time you push through the laziness, the doubt, the distraction, you build a stronger version of yourself. That's how champions are made. Not in the spotlight, but in the quiet hours when it's just you, your goals, and your grind. So stop negotiating with your excuses. They've lied to you long enough. Discipline isn't punishment, it's self-respect. It's how you prove to yourself that your word means something. Every time you do what you said you would, even when you don't feel like it, you strengthen your character. And one day when the results start showing, when everything you worked for begins to unfold, you'll look back and realize it was never luck. It was discipline. Every rep, every early morning, every late night, that was you refusing to settle for less than your best. Excuses fade when you start seeing results. Discipline builds confidence because it teaches you that you can trust yourself. So every day when the voice of comfort whispers in your ear, remember your reason. Remember your purpose. You weren't built to make excuses. You were built to make progress. And if you stay disciplined long enough, what once felt impossible will become inevitable. At the end of the day, everything you tell yourself matters. The world will throw noise at you, doubt, distraction, delay, but your inner voice is the one that decides whether you rise or retreat. The 9 things you whisper to yourself every morning are not just words, they are the seeds of your reality. When you speak faith over fear, you start walking in strength. When you choose purpose over comfort, you step into your calling. When you live with gratitude instead of complaints, you see blessings where others see burdens. And when you hold discipline above excuses, you become unstoppable. Every great life begins with small choices repeated daily. What you tell yourself shapes how you act, how you think, and how you face the storms that come your way. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control the story you tell yourself about it. So speak life, speak vision, speak victory. Because if you feed your mind with power, your life will reflect it. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are a work in progress, guided by purpose and strengthened by faith. Every day you wake up is another chance to rebuild, to rise higher, to become everything you were meant to be. So the next time you look in the mirror, Don't just see who you are, see who you're becoming. Tell that reflection, I'm still here, I'm still fighting, I'm still growing. And when the world goes quiet and doubt tries to creep in, remember this. The voice inside you can either break you or build you. Choose to make it your greatest ally. Choose to tell yourself the truth. You're capable, you're chosen, and your best days are still ahead. Keep speaking strength, keep walking with faith, and never forget, greatness doesn't start out there. It starts right here with the words you tell yourself every single day.